This will be a roast and review video of my personal trainers, Joey and Gabe's company. We're going to go through everything from click to close, how they generate leads, improvements that they can make, and so on. So I hope that you enjoy it. Hello, it's Matt, and we're back with another agency video. So today I'm with my good friends and actually my personal trainers, Joey and Gabe. So they do personal training for Christian men. I don't think only Christian men, but that's the dominant thing. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Matt. I work with about 550 businesses per month, scaled and sold 3 agencies. I'm kind of just good at this stuff. So please introduce ourselves. Tell us your name, your niche, your total revenue last or this month. Like let's really hear it here.
Yeah. So Gabe Pluguez and our niche is helping Christian men, mostly Christian entrepreneurs, lose fat and keep it off. And last month finished at 104K total rev.
104K. First time over 100K, I hear. Love that.
Yeah.
And you too, Joey?
Finally got the 6-figure mark.
You're the same thing, pretty much, except your name is Joey, not Gabe?
I'm the same thing, except my name is Joey Johan.
Okay.
Yes.
And obviously not Hispanic, he's...
Yes, and he's white. Okay, I understand.
Yes.
So basically, you guys tell us your price points here and tell us how you get clients first, and then we'll take a look.
Yeah, I mean, price point, it falls anywhere from like $2,500 to $8,000 on the front end, depending on how a guy wants to do it. How we acquire clients right now is we're all organic through Twitter. Essentially, we have a very small YouTube presence, but everything that we acquire is generally through Twitter, 95% of our clients.
And how do you acquire them through Twitter? Like they go to a page or you DM them or?
We do a DM funnel. We also have a website that they can get driven to. So we have just our main webpage, defaultkings.com. We also have a newsletter page that they get driven to. And then we also have a free school group as well. So we have those are kind of like our click points, but then the majority of that's coming through just an outbound DM funnel, or if they inbound DM us.
And you have a team for this? So you do it yourself?
Yeah, we have about 3 or 4 setters that work in the DMs. And then for content, we work with a content agency that helps us with managing the content production. And then also just the distribution of the content to different page networks and things like that.
Okay, we'll take a look. But what is your Twitter strategy in like your posting schedule? Like you post how many times per day, like threads, auto DMs?
Yeah, it's like 3 to 4 posts a day, 1 thread every day, Monday through Friday. Every now and then we'll sprinkle in an auto DM Monday through Friday, but generally 3 to 4 posts a day, 5 threads, 4 auto DMs a week.
I see. So you don't post on LinkedIn, on Instagram?
We were restricted on LinkedIn, but we're back. So we were on LinkedIn. LinkedIn was a good acquisition channel for us when it was live, but we were restricted for a few months. But we're back now.
Why are you just using automation softwares like a noob?
Yeah, we used some booth automation softwares that we should have asked you to use before.
Yeah, like oh my gosh.
So. Yeah.
So normally what we do is we take a look at what happens when we search the company's name. I'm just going to share my screen and then we'll go from there. So I have some tabs up here, and then we'll go through yours and we'll see what happens. So like, obviously, if someone searches us, there's 4 main ways to get customers and get clients. And it sounds like we're doing one here. So we're just going to not say anything about that for now, but our funnel is going to look something like this when it loads. So we have our funnel. We could possibly be doing paid ads, content outreach, or partnerships. Like everything that we could be doing is going to be one of those things. Basically what we're doing is we are going to Twitter mostly, and then we're getting them somehow to DM. They're going to go see our page. It might be on our flows if they're on our newsletter, and then our appointment setter. And we have a community and a newsletter, and we have more content, and then they're going to be qualified or unqualified. And they go to a site, or they go to a sales call with 1 or 2 of you, right?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
And then if they're unqualified, they just fuck off, right? Like you don't even care. Like just they can't afford it. They're dead to you, or what?
We have a lower ticket offer if they are unqualified.
And what is this offer?
So it's a $500 offer and or a $350 offer.
And this is one time recurring?
One time.
Yeah, one time.
Okay. So we're going to call that something like a course here. That's what we're going to label it as. So I've seen your website. Let's go on it quick because we have a VSL. Very nice. Can't believe it's hosted on YouTube like that, but very nice. We have client testimonials. Very nice. Video testimonials, case studies. Very nice. Missing some free content, but that's fine. Talk to me about your sales process here. Like when someone books a call, what happens?
They book a call, they go to a thank you page or a call confirm page. And then after that, they'll get a call confirmation email and then a 24-hour, 5-hour, and 15-minute reminder pre-call. Each of them is going to have VSL case studies, reviews in each of them, other than the 15-minute one. The 15-minute one is just a friendly reminder.
Probably do that at least 30 to 1 hour before, because 15-minute reminder, they just don't even remember at that point, but it looks good. And your sales calls, what's your close rate right now?
This month it's around 35%. Last month it was like 42%.
One call close, two call close,
mostly
whatever.
one call close.
Mostly one call close.
Yeah.
And they basically go into your one-time service, which is like a recurring service, but it's paid in full, right?
They go into a one-time for the 12-week commitment, so anywhere from $2,500 to $8,000, depending on how they do it, which package they select, and then after that, it's month to month or annual.
Got retainer. It. So this is what we're dealing with here. So we have areas of opportunity. We could have Instagram, we have LinkedIn, we have YouTube, we have outreach, because if you outreach to executives, we can legally email them. Got to run some paid ads. Probably have a webinar funnel. I'll get to that after. But we have areas of opportunity here. Some things we wouldn't do is like program is going to be the same thing as the service here. Probably not going to refer people. Not going to put affiliate links to people who are like consumers mostly. Digital products. So there we go. Like that's what we're doing basically. And then we can kind of say that we have cold DMs, but they're not that cold if they're going to your followers. So you say you're maxed out right now because you can only send so many cold DMs per day, or what?
Yeah, I don't think we've sent like a cold DM in like 6 months, because it's either just to new followers, engagers, or old followers. We just hit them with some sort of a lead magnet or something like that.
But how many DMs can you send per day realistically? Like 50?
I think it says the limits. No, I think it says the limit on Twitter is 500, but we outbound 400 new per day, and that doesn't include follow-up. So we do like a preposterous amount of follow-up as well. Across the course of a month, we'll send like 30,000 DMs. Okay.
It's actually quite a bit. So we have areas of opportunity, we have paid ads, we have outreach, we have partnerships. So partnerships, I don't know. You'd have to think of it for now. Maybe it'll come to me, but I had a landing page agency and I partnered with ad agencies because people who do ads need landing pages. And if their landing pages don't convert, their ads aren't going to be going very far. So that's like a natural thing. So we got to figure out maybe 10 different people that you could do, or not people, but types that we might be able to do. And that was about 38% of my revenue at like $900K to $1 million a month. So you can actually get quite big. Another one is media partnerships. So you should have a VA or publicist like trying to reach out to podcasts, trying to reach out to newsletters and YouTube channels to try to like do what you're doing here, except better. Like where you're actually interviewing you type thing instead of me making it all about myself, because then we can leverage other people's audiences, right? Probably not going to white label. That probably just doesn't make sense in this context. JV, maybe not, but referral and media partners definitely would. So let's go and let's look at when we search you up, because it's not so bad, but it leaves something to be desired, in my opinion. Like if you searched up 1,000x leads, you would see, the site, the Trustpilot reviews, all of the platforms. You'd see Gumroad. You'd see my stuff immediately because it's in the name. You'd see my LinkedIn immediately because it's in the name. When I had 1,000x leads in my YouTube channel name, all of my YouTube videos would pop up like this. So one thing I think we should probably do is if we just go to like something like this, put default kings in our name as well as on LinkedIn and that kind of stuff, because a lot of people won't, when you do ads like or cold email, they won't even respond or do it, they'll instantly Google you. Like, okay, this is the default kings, and this is Joey and Gabe. Like, obviously your name's going to be there anyways, so you don't need to put your name again. But if they search default kings, we want all of our stuff to show up like very badly. You have the benefit of like a pretty decent like name in terms of it being unique to you, but some of these companies will have like crazy names, and then all their competitors are showing up, like everything. So we always want to do this to like basically drown out all possible competitors from getting into our search results, and just so it looks like we have something on the internet, presumably. It's very, very important stuff. So I have your default Kings channel, but what are your personal channels? Is that when you say you're active, you mean personal channels?
Yeah, personal channels. That's actually an old YouTube channel as well. We haven't updated one, but yeah, both personal.
Both personal, got it. So it's fair to say that we have YouTube.
Yes.
Okay,
This is
now
fair.
we're getting somewhere. Oh, that's not how you say your name. So we're gonna be generous here and put YouTube in there as well, but we're gonna make it red. So we have YouTube in there. So how are you posting your Twitter content right now? Is it like scheduled in Hype Fury or something?
Yeah.
So the first thing we should be doing with our threads, at least, because you do one thread per day, we should be in recurrent posts here. We should have threads. Yeah. Then we should be posting the thread here. So not only are we building up a content bank, if we're not, like, so this has 245 posts. Once it's posted all of them, it'll just start over. So we just have this bank. We should also be having this thread. So let's just go 1, just to illustrate. We don't need to write something here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we should be cross-posting Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, even threads if we want to. And it'll turn it into a carousel automatically for us on LinkedIn or Instagram. It'll turn it into either text or a carousel if we want to on LinkedIn. Same with Facebook. As long as it's Instagram, you can only have 10 slides or 10 slides in the carousel. So if we're going to do this, and we should be, we got to be cognizant that you can only have 10. So we got to keep it brief, or just 10 is plenty, in my opinion. But this will post it automatically in the correct format to your Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn. And that's very important because we probably want to run ads at one point because we don't want to be DMing people forever. So when we're running ads, like 90% of people are going to click on our profile before they click on the link. And we want to have content on there as well. So it's very important stuff. So like we have a good plan by doing this to basically LinkedIn. I don't have Facebook on this diagram, but we'll just pretend we do. LinkedIn and that kind of stuff. And that's going to basically really help your ads and really help your outreach eventually if you do outreach, because someone clicks on your ad, they click on your profile, and there's stuff there 100% better than being bare. Same with outreach. If they do all this stuff and they Google you and like they see some shit, they're going to be much more likely to respond as opposed to you just spamming them. So that's going to be their mindset. So next thing, like what kind of videos are we going for here? Do we have a coherent strategy, or are we just kind of like fucking around?
So it's combination of authority posts in the niche specific. On mine, I post more of like a podcast, long form, personal, and then client case studies across, whenever we collect them.
Got it. So the 3 types of, like, when we're doing this, the number one thing we want to optimize for is watch time. So you have some long videos, some shorter ones. I always recommend we try to hit 1 hour per video, and across 3 types of videos. Like these thumbnails are very poor, I would say. Not that I'm an expert on thumbnails, but we could probably do a lot better with that and a lot better titles. But let's just pretend we're not going to do that today. The 3 videos that really like get the most calls booked, the most sales, as opposed to views, because I definitely don't think anyone should be making the mistake for this kind of context that views equals sales. Like it's almost like not even the same thing. So 1 hour long videos with a actual good thumbnail and a actual good title and a scripted intro, like the first 30 seconds at least. Then you can have the rest of the video random. And then the like 3 types of videos are going to be, the one is going to be a case study on Monday, for example. like you interviewing a client or something, or fixing what they're doing on Wednesday. That's what we're doing right now, right? For me. So we'll be posting next Wednesday. And then Friday will be some long form tutorial or something like that. Like where you're just around your house, like you're cooking meals, you're weighing yourself, you're logging your stuff in the app. Anything that like shows like what it would actually be like to work with you. So if we look at my channel, and I looked at about 150 of my own videos to see like, so basically I've changed this too. So how my client grew his agency from 61K to 379K a month, and then watch me fix my client's funnel, and then watch me build a lead magnet, which would be like my version of a tutorial. Since I did this, my calls have increased by 900%, and even some less views than normal on some of these. Like, I don't know what my average is. I don't get tons of views, but this is the kind of stuff when you combine watch time and these topics are what actually get you clients from it. So I would try to do that kind of stuff. Like Gabe in here should be just looking at the camera, reading off a script or a teleprompter, at least for the first 30 seconds. You'll see when I post this, like I'm going to be doing that. And then it will just get right into like this after. Like you can, don't change anything you do about filming these, but just add a 30-second and you can edit it in CapCut after and just post it.
Cool.
The audio in this is just leaves a lot to be desired as well, not going to lie. So we should go to aphonic.com. We'll upload all of our audio, whatever we want, and then it will use, like, it'll basically improve the audio. So on all of our videos, we should be doing that. The sound quality is way more important than the like visual quality here. I like this banner. So any questions so far? So to recap, cross-post their threads, LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook in threads if you want. Do those YouTube differences, and then we can like, does that make sense so far?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you're going to do that? This is good advice.
We're going to instantly implement
this is easy. This is easy.
This is like your advice when you weigh yourself and take progress pictures of yourself.
Yeah, this is
the fundamentals.
Kindergarten. Yeah.
This is basic stuff. Okay. So now we're ready to move on. So let's see. We want to put our YouTube or default kings, like Joey default kings, Gabe default kings, just so we show up here. So when they search us, like we're going to have like this basically, but a dozen of them. It's going to look real good. I would be, especially because you have so many followers, I'd probably put it in my name here. You can decide for yourself if you want to do that or not, but it shows up real nicely in search results, just like there, and like it was going to say 130K followers, that kind of stuff. So it's a good form of social proof right away. Are you guys racing on these followers? I feel like you guys are like 20K when I met you, but it's fine.
Yes.
So let's go to the site now, because what we're going to do, we got your current customer acquisition methods, such as your content, how to improve it. Now you got to go to your site and how to prove it. And then we're going to go into like opportunities to do cold emails and like ads. And I'll show you how to do that. So we got to look at the site two different ways. We got to open it up onto mobile too. And I'm going to go to the site on my phone right now. And I'm going to see what you can see. Default Kings. Default Kings. So you can basically see up to here. Like that's what it looks like for someone on the computer. So this is, I don't think it's a great above the fold, to be honest here. This is the first impression, especially, it doesn't matter as much with Twitter and what you're doing now, but if we have these aspirations to do cold email and do ads, especially, you could ditch the cold email. Like this is what they're going to like see right away, right? And they've not followed you on Twitter. They do not give a shit who Gabe or Joey are. They don't even know. Like they're like even half interested. So it can be a tough transition for people who go 100% organic to like doing ads because they like, oh, I have a 70% close rate because everyone watched 8 hours of my YouTube first, versus they've done none of that, versus they've not followed you on Twitter or anything like that. So it can be a tough transition. So what's going to work with paid ads will always work with content in terms of how optimized it is, but the other way is not true at all. So the first thing I would do is just hide this on mobile. You can keep it on desktop. I would also put like an overline here. Like if we go to like this, where I do it kind of like this instead, where it says rated 5 by however many customers, and then we're serving like Christian people, Christian entrepreneurs, whatever you want to say here, with like maybe you could put some crosses or something. To be honest, would be good, just so it's like clearly like it's visually looking, as you don't know, or like, and keep in mind, like if you want to like be reminded how stupid people are, start running like Facebook ads. Like Twitter is a pretty high IQ place, in my opinion, compared to a lot of things. Same with YouTube. But if you want to meet some real midwits, like you will start running ads. So I would say you want to have that overline, is what we'll call it, at the top with your reviews, like star rating for instant social proof. And then I definitely have this like something like this with a different background so you can tell. Very good, like that. Then I would definitely, we guarantee you'll lose 10 to 50 pounds. I don't really like that because that's a huge range. It confuses me, to be honest, even if it's true. Probably just put, we'll guarantee you lose at least 12 pounds in 12 weeks using our faith-based approach. I think you should change that to, we guarantee you'll lose 12 pounds in 12 weeks or you'll get all your money back. And then, so the headline should always be like the desired result, or like the clip, because too many people are only using the headline or reading the headline, especially these midwits from ads. And then the subheadline, so if this headline is the result you'll get, the subheadline will be basically how you got that result type thing, or how you can expect. So the subheadline should be more about your faith-based approach. I would definitely remove the margins here and the padding here, because you want this to be like on 3 lines max, just so you have more room for this to be pulled up. So you'd have something like, if we go to mine, so basically it'd be like this, right? You have your rating, you have your, for Christian business owners, you have your headline, you have your how you do your faith-based approach, that kind of stuff. Here you could put, we've helped 70 or however many men it was in the other page lose 10 to 180 pounds. You'd have your headline, this would be your VSL, and then your apply now button would here. And I could even, and I'm going to do this after this call, like remove some padding here, move some padding here, so you can actually see this without scrolling, because it's just right on the border. So looking at my own site, there's stuff to improve. And then you'd have your VSL here, automatically play. And this is what you call the above the fold and conversion rate optimization. I used to have a CRO agency, so this is kind of like, I just do this. But we always want to have this, because if we, number one, it's our first impression for these midwits on Facebook ads. And number two, if you actually look at a heat map, it's like upwards of 70% of people don't scroll at all when they get on the page. And of course, the people who end up becoming your customers are likely to be the ones who scroll the page, like obviously. But we want to optimize and plan for them to not. So they should see everything that they need to know from basically this section. I have a really big problem with you doing it on YouTube. That's atrocious. Makes me upset. They can click off to your website like that. It doesn't autoplay. It's just, I don't like it at all. I'd probably book a free assessment here. Assessment spelt wrong. No problem. You're just learning. It's fine. But we want to embed it with Wistia, right? So if we embed it with Wistia, it's an app. It'll do stuff like it will automatically play. Scale your agency.ai, obviously. So if we look at mine here, see, I could even improve this quite a bit. So my page would be like, I probably, if I'm going to do this myself, make this way smaller. It's like retardedly large. Like doesn't even make sense to have it that big. I would definitely unmute the video so you can hear me. I'll probably remove this. And then this video is auto playing. I can't do it on, but you can have a thumbnail. You'll have it auto playing. You can put click for sound here and prompt them. You can't click off to YouTube and get off the entire site. That's silly. And then you could also go into Wistia and see your analytics. So like, for example, 22.7% of people are, or that's how much they're watching. It's been 4 hours and 51 minutes playtime. I actually added this a couple days ago. Like this is how many percentage of people are actually playing the VSL. And then if you get the upgraded version, you can do more. that is the biggest thing in the site. Like, you have this reviews that should be, it looks visually shocking. Like, it doesn't look very good, to be honest. Like this, and then we want to have this, but I'm not going to beef with the other order. Like, above the fold, you probably want to have this, like, show this in the VSL a lot more. Like, yours is going to be, and I'm sure you do it, but I would definitely have, like, you do it, but you don't do it until a minute 25. You should probably do it in like the first few seconds. Like, if we go to a VSL, Canadian internet's not the best. Canadian internet's not the best. But whatever, right? Whatever.
It's okay. We got you now.
So if we go to, we'll just do it here. So if we're presenting our VSL, let's go present. We're going to present. So we have this stuff, like this is the unique proposition. They're going to build this. So, my name's Matt. Welcome to Scale Your Agency. I will help you build an agency funnel that converts cold traffic, which is a value prop because most people just have referrals, and then save you 50 hours per week running it with my AI models. So you can get results like this and you'd have yours. Like, this is going to happen within like 10 seconds. So you can get results like this, like this, like this, and like this. It's even better for you because it's visual. If you came from my YouTube channel, you'll know about me. But if you came from an ad or found me some other way, my name is Matthew Larson, and I'm uniquely qualified to help you because I grew my own agency from 0 to 900K per month, and I sold it in July 2023. So proof that I'm presumably competent. Since then, I have a non-compete clause because people always ask, if you're so rich, why do you do this? That prevents me from starting another agency. So I've been consulting 550 agencies. Here are some of them. Then you can just put your stuff there and just go rapid fire. So does this actually work for them? Now, like, you could put pictures of your reviews, and you just you don't need to read all of them. You just can go like this and just, now I have like all my wins. It's obnoxious. This is how so many wins. Oh, we have so many wins that I have to go through them this faster. We'd be here all day. That's what I say in my video. But like, that's probably what you want to have in your VSL. But I don't have too much beef with the rest. Just like, this looks good. Padding is atrocious. We need to learn what a container is. But you have lots of tons and tons of proof. The way it's displayed is shocking right now. So you could even put these as like a scrolling thing too. Like up here, like if you put the button here, like right here, because we don't need two. We could just like scroll the before versus after fit photos. Those scrolling widgets?
Yeah.
So what do you think now? What do you think of your website now? Are you self-conscious? Like,
we knew, but since it's not a massive, we've been fortunate with organic being nice to us. But yeah, we know
it's going to be when we get to the final part of this video where we're talking about ads. Like, my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
We knew.
You knew, and we just don't do anything.
But yeah.
Your clients know that they should be tracking their calories and working out, and they don't. So it's like the same thing.
Oh, man. It's the same thing.
You're feeling empathy right now, right?
Yeah. This is deep empathy. Oh, jeez.
Darn it.
Okay, let's get back to it. We just know we should be doing. I hear that. I know everyone knows exactly what they should be doing, but they just don't, including me. So basically, in an ad funnel, like, there are a few options. We could go directly to a sales call. That's what a lot of people do. We could go to lead magnets. We could go to a digital product. We could go to a webinar. And I'm gonna actually put this as if we were going to a webinar because I have VSL in there too. So basically, digital products probably out. I'm not even going to do that because it just doesn't really make sense. Live workshop, it could make sense, but I think a webinar would be better. We could go to a newsletter, probably doesn't make sense for the ads. Community probably doesn't make sense from the ads. But we could do all of these things, is the point. But for you, I think the obvious one is going to go paid ad. Oh, we want to use a different color, so it's going to be whack. I think the obvious choice for you in this is to go to a pre-recorded webinar, just for the reason that like sales call, like especially like super B2C where it's like this, like it is going to be daunting. I think it's just going to be stupid for you. There's no trust built. They're already skeptical because they probably lost weight before and like didn't. So it's not going to be good. Live workshop could be good, but the show rate probably for this kind of stuff is going to be too low. Newsletter probably doesn't make sense at all. Community, no. So basically, your choices are the VSL funnel, or your choices really are your webinar funnel, to be honest. And the reason why we need that is because, one, like we need to educate them about weight loss in general and give them some basically knowledge or tips that like they can try on their own to prove that we know what we're doing. But also we need the webinar because of your like Christian angle. Like what is Christian about this weight loss? Without you without you explaining in the DMs and without you just taking a ton of sales calls, we're going to have to explain that somehow. So a pre-recorded webinar of about 90 to 180 minutes is probably what we're going to be doing. You guys think you can do that?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay. This is a very good book for webinars if you want. This guy is probably the best. He has a YouTube channel. His name's Jason Fladley, One to Many. I read this book when I was making my webinar, and like you guys, I use a webinar for my ads to do this because if you never watched my YouTube before, you don't know who I am. Like, it's not really any reason to book a call, right? Type thing. So they go to the webinar and then they book a sales call from the webinar. So you could even do both. Like you could fill up the webinar, which will be basically an evergreen webinar. So you can do that on Webinar Jam. It'll be called an Ever webinar, I believe. So basically, like they sign up, and what would be an example? So they can sign up. Let's go to I know publishing.com uses that tech stack. So you'd run your ads to a page like this, like something, how to be a Christian, right? Like whatever you want to say. I don't know if we're going to brainstorm on here, probably unnecessary, but watch the training or the webinar. You'll have a nice clean page like this, not what you have. And now like every 15 minutes it's going to play. So it's basically 12:41 p.m. for me in my time zone. This will just launch every 15 minutes. You'll go up there. We'll have a page like this. That's going to be the waiting room. And this is where the pixel will fire for your Facebook. I wanted to go to the waiting room, but it's fine. It's fine. There's going to be a waiting room, but I guess it just puts you in if it's too fast. You'd have a waiting room with a VSL and some FAQs and join, but now it will go to this right here, and now your webinar will be playing. And then you could kind of fake that it's live by having your setters that you currently have just answering questions in here. And they're just like on there 24/7 just answering questions. Like this could be pre-recorded, but when you have that, it kind of looks like it's live. So that's like a good way people do it. Let's try to get out of it because I can't pause it or mute it. And then basically, so we'll run our ads to that. Like here's how Christian men can do X, Y, and Z or whatever the ad is. They sign up. Now they're on your email flows. They're in your CRM. The pixel has fired. Now they're hopefully watching your webinar. Like you can see what like how long they've watched it for and like all that kind of stats. If they watch it over 30%, for example, you can tag them in your CRM and have your setters like start reaching out to them over and over. You can kind of do whatever you want there. But the point is, there's two ways to do it. Like there's two variables of two different things. So two sets of variables. The first is live or pre-recorded. I typically would recommend you do it live once per month until you like find out, okay, like this is the one that's like really converted people. Just because it's like making anything for the first time. You're just like guessing until it's proven to convert. But you do a March webinar on like, let's say the second Wednesday in March, and then that one converts so many. And then you do it on April and that converts more people. And then you do it in May and that converts the most people. Then you do that and you'd have it as your standardized webinar. So it's just how to do it basically. Once you do that, you have the standardized webinar. You can still run the once per month webinar too, and it will just be different. there's a lot of, like, everyone has their opinion on how to do this. Like, some people do it weekly, some bi-weekly, some monthly. I have tried all of them. I prefer to do it monthly just because weekly, like, people don't show up as much because they know it's going to happen again next week. You just get less total people usually. It's just more hard to set up. So, like, once per month, usually on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, or even a Sunday because it is business to consumer, or kind of. But definitely don't do it on Monday. Definitely don't do it on Friday. The best time zone is 2 p.m. Eastern time, in my opinion, because that allows everybody in North America, even in Western Europe, you can get in there. And it's also early in the morning for Australia. It's really the only time zone that you can get everybody to come live, and then that kind of stuff. So that's like the two variables. So one or two. And then the two variables are basically like, do you sell directly from the webinar or do you sell on like a sales call, right? And both of them are okay. What I would do if I was you is something like these guys, where like they have a program, right? So it's $19.95 for whatever it is. So this is like their checkout page. So you'd have that, right? But if they buy straight off the webinar, you do it for like $9.97. So this would be like your challenge. So what are your challenges? Like your 8-week thing?
Our 8-week thing? Are you talking about just our core program?
Yeah, like your core program, your one-time offer that they commit to.
Our core program is 12 weeks.
So 12 weeks, right? So you like this whole webinar would be how to lose 12 pounds in 12 weeks as a Christian or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if that's whatever the price is, like you say that's $2,400, for example. If they do it if they buy right off the webinar, they're going to get it for $1,200 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I would typically, if you're going to sell right off the webinar, do it for less than $1,000. So like $9.95, $9.97, $9.99, just because it's like a psychological barrier. Or you can go directly to a call this is good if you have to qualify them. Like you just don't want to work with anyone. That's good. You're always going to get a much higher sales rate if you go to a call after. But the negative is you have to go on a call after. Positives are you can qualify them, you have a higher sales rate, and that kind of stuff. And then once you do that, like let's say you sold directly off the webinar for like $9.97, then you have your setters trying to upsell them like 3-4 days later to something higher ticket. I think that's what you basically want to be doing. So your whole ad strategy, instead of just randomly doing it like most people do, which is kind of like ridiculous. People just like you guys, you hire an ad agency and you say, just figure out my entire funnel and business for me. Like it's kind of absurd. You know, it doesn't like, why would that actually work? So you like have this webinar, you're probably going to aim for like $8 to $12 per lead, like a $30 or 30% show up rate. So $25 to $40 to show up, and you're going to aim to convert like 5 to 8% type thing. And then you're just going to be rich. And then you are no longer just Twitter. So when your Twitter account gets banned like your LinkedIn, then you're not at zero.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all very simple, you know? Like, so what do we have to do so far? We got to start posting on these other platforms. We got to actually be good at YouTube. We got to fix our site. We got to do this webinar. So that's like 4 action steps so far, right? 4 very good action steps. So tell me, like, what are you guys doing? Like, what insight can you give us right now about your metrics or anything like that? Are we tracking anything, or are we just kind of winging it?
We track a bunch of stuff.
So what do you track?
Essentially everything. I mean, our core metric that we use is LTGP to CAC. That's kind of how we make decisions on what we need to work on. So, I mean, that's like our number one number that we're tracking all the time.
What is that right now? Do you know what it is right now?
Last month, it was 4.7.
4.7. Okay. I think the 5th big area of opportunity is figuring out how we can get that up. Because if you want hyperscale, it's going to have to be realistically, our 3 or 6 month LTV to CAC ratio is going to have to be like 30 if you want to have a hyperscale.
Mm-hmm.
And if it goes to like 100, for example, like right now, if you join my offer, it's 30,000 a year, and my customer acquisition cost is $800. So if we go 30,000, and that's blended, of course, that's a 37.5 times, like at least revenue to LT or revenue to CAC, and the LTV is pretty high just because it's like selling consulting. So my ads are just getting like turned up like crazy to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 per day in the near future. And I could just kind of do it because I run this exact same webinar funnel that I'm talking to you guys about. So, and everyone does. Like, if it needs to be explained, like you can either explain it on 3 sales calls and like waste your time and your closer's time, or you can try to get them through a webinar. And the webinar basically, like, read that book, but it's not super complicated either. You like 4 stages of a webinar. Basically, you need to do the promise. I have them actually here from that book. You have to do the promise. You have to do the don't rush me. Don't rush me. I'll get it. But I should know this off by heart, but I spent like 15 hours like making my webinar. So the promise and the trust and the understanding and then the action. So like you can lose weight, a big one. I've tried this before and failed, like, well, or I tried another personal trainer and they failed me or some shit like that, right? You hear this a lot, like, especially because I am an agency thing and I've been burned by an agency, right? Like that's everyone's. So a good one is like, they're burning you twice now. They're burning you the original time, and also they're burning you because now you're not willing to fix it or try again. So they're getting you again. That's a good one. Then the trust will be your results, like your before and after stuff. Your understanding will be basically like why God works into this and why that's going to work for them when they didn't do that before, something like that. And then action, like what can they do right now to do it? And I want to give them like 5 or so action steps, because if they do those and like it starts working for them, like okay, for the next 2 days or 3 days, I want you to weigh yourself and send a progress photo to us at this phone number, like in WhatsApp. You'll just have a company WhatsApp. You will download this app. You will get these snacks like beef jerky, Greek yogurt, protein bars instead of whatever, and you'll block Uber Eats for your phone. Like those would be 5 good action steps for me, right? Because we talk about this all the time. So like I've done those things and now I'm like, wow, these guys know what they're talking about. I am going to join their thing. You gotta get them these quick wins before. Like a lot of people, at least if you're a hardcore direct response marketer, at least where I've worked in the past, I guess everyone's 18, they can refer to stuff however they like, but we call them activation points. So like for my mastermind, if they have my work form system that you guys get notifications to, if they have my project management system and my operations spreadsheet and my metrics tracking spreadsheet, and they set up their calendar to block the first 5 hours, statistically they're 93 times more likely to join my mastermind versus someone who's not done any of those things. And you can just do it on an onboarding form like Calendly. You can ask those questions. So that's a good example. So my webinar is basically, instead of how do I get them to join my mastermind, how do I get them to do those 5 things? Because they're just going to naturally join. So it'd be similar for you. One of the craziest ones I've heard of before, like there's a big affiliate marketer who did webinars, and he was doing like 6 to 10 million a year, or a year before this happened. And then like based on all his data, he found the biggest activation point after they did their webinar was whether or not they bought a domain or not. Like if they bought a domain, they were 800 and something % more likely to join the course after. So his thing is like at the end of his webinar, if you're at this point, buy your domain within 24 hours and send me a screenshot at this number or this email or whatever it was, and I'll send you $25 back for your domain. And that would just like get 20 times more people to buy the domain, because that was the thing that actually got them to take action. And then like their chart, I'm mirrored here, it was like growing like this, and then as soon as I did it, it almost went straight up like a 90 degrees, and they went from 6 to 10 mil per year to like 30 to 40 million per month, just by getting them to do it. So like the sad part is you can't really you guess what these activation points are. You could be right some of the time, but it's definitely something that, looking back, like I would say, because I've been through your stuff, because I am your client. You're not actually my client in this video for the first time, but like those 5 things, if I did those every day, I already know that I would be losing weight, and this would be different than the last time. So your webinar, like that would be the action step. Like, so getting people to do that kind of stuff. And then all your email flows, text messages would be trying to get people to do those 5 things, content too, all of that kind of stuff. And then you won't waste your ad money, because a lot of people, like, especially people who sell info products, like don't understand really anything besides like a webinar or a book a call like funnel. They don't understand like an agency just can't scale infinitely. A personal trainer like yourself can't just scale instantly. There's fulfillment. They're not just selling a PDF or like a course, right? So this kind of stuff is actually better than getting them on a call, because you're going to be building up a wait list and a pipeline of all of these people over time, so that when they're ready, like they know who you are and they can trust you and they can do it, right? Because part of the problem when people don't do the strategy, and it, like if you have an offer, your offer somewhat applies to a lot, like it's somewhat mass market, right? There's Christians, like tons of them, but there's a lot of people who have an agency that they don't have a mass market offer. They'll be doing like cold emails for like SaaS or something, or they'll have like an agency mastermind like mine. If you have to be over like 500K. So like if you just do sales calls, like you're only targeting the people who are in market, like they're already looking for a solution.
Yeah.
Versus you have these activation points, you're targeting people who may need a solution, but you're also like creating more TAM for yourself, because people who weren't in your orbit like are now using your advice and becoming into your orbit. So it's like very, very important stuff. So what are you going to do? These 5 activations points, like actually post on other platforms, just cross post it, do YouTube properly, fix that website, do that webinar, and get these activation points. You know, that's 5 things. Free advice for you.
Wow. It's good stuff.
Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah, like it's the thing that they don't tell you is like if you're doing under $1 million a month, you're actually a bad person. Like that's what they don't tell you. Like you're both married. Yeah.
It's true.
Like,
I understand.
that's what they don't tell you that, but like you're a bad person. Like both of you are bad people right now. Like that's the thing about it.
We're doing
you're
a
both
disservice
married,
to
and
our
like,
market.
the absolute worst thing we can do to a woman is make less than $1 million per year. Like think about that. Your wives and your moms can't even tell people, oh, he made $1 million last year. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, we're working on that.
Yeah, we're working on that. Should we make a list? Yeah, we definitely need to make a list.
It's good. Make us a list, please.
Let's make a list.
So, yeah, I'll make a list. My God. So content. We're going to go content so we don't forget anything. We're going to do website. We're going to do webinar. What else did we say? Oh, yeah. No, we're going to go written content versus video content. See, I already forgot. How are you guys going to remember if I already forgot? So there we go. Written content. You guys have way more followers than me on Twitter, so I'm not really going to give you any advice on that. But cross-post threads from Twitter to Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, threads. There we go. Is that all I said? That's pretty much all I said.
Yeah.
Keep it to under 10 points, because 10 slides is max for Instagram. This content is important for ads, because people click on Facebook, IG ads, and then they need to see a not blank profile. I think that's all we said. YouTube thumbnails are horrible. Talk to Lucas Synot. He'll make you an AI one. It's way better. Thumbnails are horrible. Titles are horrible. Get oneof10.com. Script and record 30-second intro separately. Then use CapCut to splice together. What are you guys laughing? This is serious stuff. Horrible case study Monday. Fixing clients X on Wednesday. Long form tutorial on Friday. Optimize for watch time. Aim for 1 hour video length. Oh my god, we gotta get to the website. There's so much stuff. We can't be doing that. We gotta revisit it now. Fuck. Remove top button on mobile. Make it look like fast. Smallbusinessloans.com. Background for Christian entrepreneurs for low IQ. Star rating above Christian entrepreneurs. VSL way better. Watch video recording, because I don't really remember what I said. VSL hosted on Wistia. Way better headline with the guarantee, £12 in 12 weeks. Subheadline explaining the faith part of it. In your VSL, make it like Matt's. I'll give you the link. That should be good for now. Default Kings webinar. So webinar would be the Ever webinar with Webinar Jam. 30% show rate. $5 to $12 cost per sign up. We'll go 3 to 8% conversion rate. Read Jason Fladlien book. What did I say? Promise, trust, understanding, action. That's what I said. Something like that. Something of this nature. And then activation points. We'll wrap it up after this. Everything should go to 5 activation points. You can decide what they are. Weigh every day. Progress photo every day. Protein snacks. Delete Uber Eats. And then whatever else you want. I can't remember what I said. Make sure they send you those things in chat to build relationship. Your entire webinar action section should be about those. Your email flows should be about those. Some content should be about those. So there we have it. I think we're done for today.
Wow. Insightful.
It was.
Thank you.
I'm pretty impressed. Like, if we made 100K per month with like just being this bad, imagine if it'd be good. You know, Twitter only 100K per month.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Instantly 200 to 300K per month once we do that thing. Instantly.
Wow.
It's not bad. It's kind of, but it's not that bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Like it's
like we're not 400 pounds, right?
It's not so bad. You're like you maybe like 20 pounds overweight right now in this, you know?
Yeah.
But to be honest, we made like we're at a 7-figure business. Statistically, that's only 4% of businesses. So we're 1 in 25 right now. But we're trying to get to 1 in 1,000, 1 in 1,000,000. We're 1 in 25 right now.
Yeah.
So
1 in 25 does not sound that good, but
like we are 1 in 25. We got to 1 million a month, we would be a little bit more than that. We'd be 1 in 250.
Wow,
we can do it.
This is good.
I'm about 1 in like 45,000 right now, like me. But you're only 1 in 20, so I'm like nearly 2,000 times better.
Yeah, when you look at it like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
New coaching program, 2000x better.
Yeah, 1,000x leads, 1,000x better.
Wow.
Anything else for today? If you're a Christian guy, hire these guys. If you're overweight, also join my program, of course. I think we'll cut it off there. Thank you for watching.